In this video, I'm going to unbox and review Campark V40. I'm going to show you what's inside the box and we're going to talk about the features. And also towards the end of the video, I'm going to show you the video samples and show you what this camera is capable of doing. Let's get into it. So first off, the Campark V40 is the higher end of the Campark action cameras. I tried the X35 and X40. They were like decent, not so good, but V40 should be taking the crown. There's a lot of hype out there for this camera because the price is good and also apparently the quality that you're getting is good as well. Cables and accessories, and also camera coming with the waterproof housing, which is really nice. So just to read some of the features of the box, it has a dual screen, which is really good if you want to capture yourself and doing a vlog or something. You have the option to see what you're recording. This camera is Ultra HD 4K and also has the Wi-Fi connection, so if you install an app on your phone, you can communicate with the camera, recording, taking pictures. It is waterproof and it also has the image stabilization. All right, we have a wristband just to control the camera. You put it on your wrist and you can actually press record or taking pictures, which is really useful because if you like attach the camera to your helmet and somewhere out of your reach, you can only use the wristband to control it when you're in action. Otherwise, you can use the app to control the camera or you just press the buttons on the camera itself. We have some straps, one battery. I'm assuming there should be another battery inside the camera itself. So we have two batteries if that's the case. Some attachments for the helmet. It comes with the microphone. So we're gonna test that one as well to see how the audio quality is gonna be. So I tried the X40 version of Campark. That one also had a microphone. Microphone wasn't good at all. Hoping this one would be better, but we're gonna test that out. Some other attachment, obviously for different scenarios. There's some adhesive ones that you can just stick it to, I don't know, windshield or something. Another USB cable for charging and also the charger for the batteries. So it comes with the waterproof housing, which is really durable and looking pretty solid. Here's the camera itself. In the front we have the lens, we have the screen, and actually the quality build is really good. I like it. And on the top we have a menu and actually a capture button, I think. You can start to stop recording and capture images. So on the left side, if you open it, you can get access to the HDMI and USB for charging. Apparently, the camera by itself is waterproof, like this, without any waterproof housing onto for like 10 meter, I'm assuming, but it's gonna be 30 meter with the waterproof case. On the right side we have the power button to turn on and off, and underneath there's a sliding door for the battery. One of the good features about this camera is that the screen is touch sensitive, so you can control everything pretty easily, and touch is pretty good. It's almost like the X40 that I tested, same menu. Go on the menu, we can select the resolution. We have the 4K at 30 FPS and also 2.7K at 30 FPS, 1080p 60 FPS. We go down, 1080p 30, 720p 120 FPS like the previous models, and also 720p 60 FPS. So 720p is not the ideal quality that you want to get, but it gives you the higher frame rate for the slow motion scenarios. So if you want to slow down the footage, you get the 720p 120 FPS, which is the slowest as you can get. Or if you want a higher quality, you can go with the 1080p 60 FPS that give you a decent slow motion, not as slow as 720p 120 FPS. We can record the voice. Image stabilization is off. I'm gonna try to test it with the off and on option. Loop recording, which is really good because sometimes you just want to keep recording, but if you don't want to lose your footage, you need to put the loop recording on off. But if you put it like in 1 minute or 3 minutes, it's gonna record over your old footage, so you might gonna lose the old data and the old footage that you recorded. I mean, any action camera should have a time lapse because you're just gonna leave it and get like a good time lapse. Okay, you can select the built-in microphone, or you can use the external microphone. Distortion calibration. So distortion calibration is like when you using like a wide field of view lenses, like the ones that action cameras has, you get like a fisheye effect. This option helps you just to make it straight and even like for the normal eye. Select the angle that you're recording the video. It's already on wide angle because you want to get the more field of view. The M button on the top is just to changing the modes. It's not the menu. If you hold the M button on the top, it will switch between the front and the rear LCD. Press and hold. It will go to the front. Now you can capture some portrait footage. Actually, it's good. It's kind of small, but it's good to see what you're capturing almost. Lots of different options how you can use the accessories. iSmart DV is the app that is compatible with this camera. Okay, now I'm capturing the 4K 30 FPS and I'm just testing the white balance. Quality is great. I'm sharp in the frame. I'm in the focal length, and going back to the shade, as you can see, the white balance automatically brightens the picture in the shade. And when you go to the whiter areas, it will darken the image. But at this time, when the whole picture is not dark, it will dark the subject as well, which is sort of a downside, but you need to change the settings to get the best performance out of this mode. But if the whole background is dark, it will brighten the image by itself. The good colors, pretty sharp image at 4K. I'm happy about that. But when you turn around the camera, if you notice, the image is not sharp and sort of blurry. But when you go back to your face or the main subject in vlog, it is sharp. And now capturing 2.7K 30 FPS. So it's a little bit lower resolution than 4K, but still getting a good quality. But the downside, like I mentioned, is if the subject is far away from the camera, it will get blurry. But in this point, when you're close to the subject, it is sharp. I don't know, there might be a problem with the autofocus. I don't think that this camera has autofocus, because every time that the subject is close to the camera, like 2, 3, or 4 feet, it's sharp, but everything past that, it gets blurry. But the colors are great, and we have a wide view. And when you go back to the vlog view, you are in focus, but the background is not, which is working with this scenario, but not every time. Yeah, everything past that 2 or 3 feet gets blurry. It's not super sharp. And now we are capturing in 1080p 60 FPS just to test the quality of the 1080p. We lost some color and the picture is a little bit softer and the quality is lower, basically half of the 4K quality. But the main function of the camera is still the same. You get some nice white balance. If the subject is close enough to the lens, it will be sharp. Again, anything beyond that 2-3 feet, it's gonna be a little bit blurry. But I'm not sure if you noticed that, but I saw the footage in my computer and it was blurry. Alright, now we are switched to 720p 60 FPS just to check the quality for 720p. If you notice, the quality is a lot lower than other modes because it's 720p. You shouldn't be expecting to get much detail. The picture is softer and you get the same colors, like a bluish tone like the 1080p. You're getting the wide angle, but still the same functions, and it should be good for like watching in the mobile phone screens, but not in larger screens. This mode is usually used for slow motion. You can switch between 60 or 120 FPS or faster frames. Right now I'm testing the image stabilization. The EIS is turned off for this part. I'm gonna walk for some part and run for the other parts, just to show you how shaky is the camera going to be. I'm just doing laps around the community. Right now we see some shakes, but they are not terrible. Right now I'm running, we're getting like big shakes, but when we switch over to the EIS mode on, it will be a different scenario. And now I turned on the EIS mode. The stabilization is active. You get a cropped image, so it's basically zoomed in just to manage the shakes, to remove the shakes, and it's doing a really good job. You don't really notice many shakes, and the stabilization is really good on this camera, in my opinion. You see some jitters, you're not gonna get like a gimbal effect, but so far this is the best stabilization that Campark cameras has that I noticed in this camera. Now testing the slow motion video. Right now capturing 720p 120 fps, slowing down the footage. As you can see, the cars are getting slowed. Pretty nice for slow footage, but the quality is not good. It's just very soft. I don't really recommend capturing in this quality, but the only thing you want is the slow motion. That's the only reason you want to get. And now we are capturing at 1080p 60 fps. This is the slow motion for the 1080p. Not very slow, but still slow. Okay, now I'm trying to show you guys the distortion calibration function of the camera. Right now the calibration is off, and now it's on. The main function of this mode is just to get rid of that fisheye effect, that there is some distortion around the frame. It will get rid of that and makes everything smooth and straight. This camera has 3 angles. Right now capturing in wide angle, switching over to medium angle, and now this is the narrow angle. So basically it's pretty much zoomed in effect. Okay, now we are testing the audio. I'm using the built-in microphone of the camera, and this is what you're hearing from the built-in microphone that this camera has. Testing 1 2 3 1 2 3. This is the audio you are getting from the built-in microphone. I'm not very far from the camera, so it should be a relatively good audio. Okay, now I'm recording with the external mic that comes with the camera. The cable is not very long. But it should be good for like close-ups, and if you're doing the vlog, it should be relatively good. I'm just going to check the audio to see if there's any major improvement if you use the mic or without the mic, because in the last model, the X40, the mic wasn't really good. Again, capturing the audio with the external mic. If you want to do the vlog or something that you want a better audio, you can use it like this. And now these are some of the pictures that I took with the camera. They are nice, they are good. I mean, like I mentioned, everything past that 3 or 4 feet, it will get a little bit blurry, but if it's close enough, it will be sharp. All right, now let's test the app and see what we're gonna get. So the app is iSmart DV. We're gonna click on that, and we're gonna turn on the camera. And now we're going to the Wi-Fi mode. Click on the Wi-Fi. Yeah, Campark, this is the one we're looking for. Click on that. All right, now we are connected and it should work. Yeah, that was pretty fast and pretty easy, right? So if you turn the camera, it will just show everything on your phone. Let's see how bad is the lag. So I'm just moving my hand. Okay, lag is not bad. So we have the option to start recording. So we have the option to control everything that was on the camera, video size, the qualities, everything is here. Screen slow motion function and auto power off. You can even use the image stabilization settings here, activated. So I took some picture just a couple of hours ago, and it will pop up in your phone as well, so you can review it on your phone. Also, all the videos that I took is here. It's all captured. You can review all of your footage that you captured on your phone. That's a good feature to having a Wi-Fi action cam. Yeah, that's the video I took earlier today. You can switch between the photo and the video right here. Pretty simple, straightforward. So that's pretty much what the app does. You can just use the wireless if you want to use your camera somewhere else and just capture the footage. Hello, it's me right behind the camera. Okay, so I just reviewed the footage that I captured for testing with the audio, different angles, different quality settings. There's a lot of good, bad, and the ugly, I have to say. So far, everything is good about this camera. Comparing to the old generations, it's a really good step up. With this price, right now it's $110, and the old version was X40 for around $90. For $20, it's a huge step up comparing to old models. Let's just start with the good ones. As far as the quality is really amazing. Comparing to the last model that I tried, it's a huge improvement. The audio quality for the internal mic is good. Also, the external mic was good. The build quality is good. Having a dual screen in the front is nice. Having a touch screen is good. Waterproof, works fine. There's no problem with that. Same with the older models. The image stabilization works great. Comparing to the last model, the X40 was terrible. But the V40 doing a great job for the stabilization for the image. It has to crop in a little bit. It will give you the stabilized image, which is good. If you use the Distort Correction function of this camera, you cannot use the image stabilization because they conflict with each other. On the other hand, if you use the image stabilization, you lose the ability to capture in 720p 120 fps. I don't think I would care much about the 720p because the quality of 720p is not good, but unless you really want that slow motion capturing. But the huge downside for me while testing this camera, going through the footage, was the focal point. This unit, I'm not sure if it's this one or all of the V40s, has this problem that they don't have autofocus. I was looking at the videos that I captured in the vlog style. I was capturing myself. The quality is amazing because I was in a perfect focal length of this lens. But if you turn the camera and if you try to capture a scene, everything is blurry because the camera doesn't have that autofocus feature to know there's nothing in front, so you need to focus in the background. So everything was blurry. I have some samples that I'm gonna show you or already showed you, which is really bad because the quality of this camera is so great, but it doesn't have the autofocus. I tested a couple of times. I've gone through the menu to see if there's an option to turn it on or I'm doing something wrong. I couldn't find anything. So I'm assuming it might be a defect with this camera that doesn't have the autofocus, or all of them are like that. I'm not sure. I'm hoping if somebody has the V40, tell me if that's the case, if the camera does the autofocus for them, or is it just the same as what I have here. It's not really good because I really like the quality of I was getting with this camera, the 4K quality was amazing. The camera doesn't focus, so everything, nothing is sharp. It doesn't even matter if it's 8K. If it's like 8K or whatever, if it's not sharp, it doesn't matter. The main function of the camera should be the picture quality. You just have to buy it for the vlog style of videos. If you want to do the vlog, you're in perfect focus and the background is blurry and you're not going to have any issue. So I'm just wondering why, because I'm thinking it might be a defect with this one. Everything is good with this camera except the focal length. There you have it, guys. Thank you for watching the video. I really want to hear from you guys. What do you think about this camera, and what question you might have, and also if somebody owns the V40 can say if the autofocus is the issue or not. Thank you again, and I will see you in the next video.